could not have been any better. But this lovely man just delivered some water to my hotel room because it's ridiculously hot in New York right now. But how you doing?
I am so good. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for joining the show today, man. I created this show back in March of 2020 when COVID shut the world down because I wanted people to just hear from the people that bring them joy and they have fun, you know, following and celebrating, and that is you. So we are going to have a good time. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Amazing. And for all the fans, I have your questions. I'll be asking some towards the end of the interview, so stick around. But man, I mean, first of all, congratulations on the massive success of Purple Hearts. Not only has it taken the world by storm, but it is one of the top 10 movies in the history of Netflix, period. I mean, it's surreal, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely the word for it. It's yeah, it's just kind of how it all transpired was just very, very surreal. As you said, I was on a job filming, and so I felt like I was kind of in a little bubble, and every day would kind of get these texts from the producers and the director and Sophia that the movie was doing well, and then it was doing very well, and then it was doing incredibly, and we were sort of smashing all these numbers and everything. And so it's kind of been this crazy progression, really, and so fan-led, which is the incredible thing. You know, oftentimes to get a movie out there, it requires this incredible publicity push, but I really felt like the success of this movie is so down to the fans and people connecting with it and yeah, really pushing it in their own way.
Yeah, absolutely. And bringing it back for a minute, what was it that initially attracted you to wanting to do this film when you read about it?
Yeah, I mean, it was, I remember reading the script and immediately being like, this is a character I think I could play. Whenever I look for a character, I need to feel like there is a depth to them, that there is an emotional arc that I can play. There's like a journey that they go through during the movie, and I felt like Luke was this incredibly hurt, incredibly flawed young man with just so much trauma, but at the same time with like so much love to give, and just, you know, had real sort of trust issues, and just needed someone to kind of positively influence him to kind of open up. And I just thought, okay, whoever gets to play this is going to have a real gift on their hands, and I really, really want this to be me because I think I could do it. And it scared me, which, to be honest, anytime I read a script, I'm like, oh, this is both exciting and terrifying. I know I really want to do it. So then it was just about trying to convince everyone else that I was the right guy for the job.
I was going to ask, how did that audition come about for you? Was it a long process?
Well,
did you kind of walk away being like, oh, I got it? Like,
I mean, listen, that's a very that's a dangerous disposition to have in this line of work, because you get rejected 90% of the time, especially when you're starting out, you know. The first audition I felt like went well, but I felt like there was I taped for it initially, and then I had a callback with Sophia and with Liz, the director, amongst our producers, Les and Elisa. And Sophia's kind of talked about the fact that she kind of, from that point, knew that I was the guy she wanted, but Liz, our director, was not entirely sold. And I just love working with directors. I think, you know, as an actor, I'm very collaborative. I like to sort of hear what they have as an idea, and you know, really you kind of meet somewhere in the middle in the end of what the character should be. And so I came back in after I had a meeting with Liz. She gave me these notes, and I took them on board, and Sophia and I did a bunch of improv where we were kind of basically trying to push each other's buttons, and we found out that we were very good at doing that. So yeah, it was kind of a couple-week process, but it happened pretty quickly, and then it was about trying to just like get me out to the US during COVID times. So it was a roller coaster, but yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Well, and it's so crazy because I know that you and Sophia had a lot of Zoom meetings ahead of time, but You didn't actually meet until the day or the night before you began shooting, right? Which is wild, Nicholas, because your chemistry is so insane and electric in this film. So how did you establish that rapport and that vibe together, especially not even being together?
Yeah, it's look, chemistry is a really interesting thing because I kind of feel like it's not something you can really teach. You kind of have to have some sort of spark as people and some. Yeah, I think we were both just really open to playing with each other at first, and you know, oftentimes in these scenes, it's about Luke and Cassie wanting to take control and to sort of lead the scene, and so you know, throughout the process, there was a lot of that, and Liz was just like, you know, so overjoyed to kind of push us to push each other in a sense, and yeah, it's a very bizarre thing that you're gonna play characters who are so close and so intimate with each other, and you don't spend a considerable amount of time with them, and that was something I was kind of not ashamed to admit. I was something I was like, okay, is this gonna be? Is it gonna feel real? Is it gonna feel right in the moment when I actually get to California? But yeah, we sort of picked up where we left off on all the Zoom rehearsals, and yeah, it just was never it was never our issue really. You know, we just I think that's it just made it so fun to come into work every day and know that I had like a great scene partner who was going to push me.
Yeah, no, it was amazing to watch. Like I said, the chemistry was just, you don't find that a lot when you watch things. As a viewer, as someone who loves film and TV, sometimes
Yeah.
I find myself watching things and I'm like, okay, I get the casting, but I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Every now and again, this sort of couple actors will come along who really just understand each other in a way. You know, I think of like in recent times, like a Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, I think are just really great together. And it's like the first time they worked together, people probably wouldn't have known how electric it really would have been. But yeah, it definitely makes the prospect of working with Sophia again a fun notion.
Yeah, for sure, man. Let's talk about some of your scenes. Do any stick out to you as favorites that you just loved filming and being a part of?
Yeah, I mean, oh God, this honestly, it's really funny because there were so many days I came into work and it was, you know, just extremely emotional scenes. It's funny that the movie got cut down because we filmed so much footage, and there was about 4 extremely dark, extremely emotional scenes that didn't even make it in the movie. That, you know, it's kind of this weird masochistic thing. You kind of it's so energy consuming as an actor, but to go to those places is also really gratifying. But we actually had so much fun on this movie, and we had so many laughs. And what I will say is Cassie's glucose attack was pretty amazing because we at that point I think we just really knew how to work with each other, and we were just so we were so connected, and we just kind of trusted each other, and it just felt like it flowed very naturally. I'd say getting to beat up Jono was a lot of fun as well. Because I'm like an action guy at heart, you know. I've been doing martial arts and stuff for years now, so like we had to learn all of this choreography on the morning, which was you know, it's not ideal, but I think anytime you get to be physical in the job, it's a lot of fun. There was one particular day, which is this fairly we've spoken about this before. It's this fairly innocuous scene when I'm in hospital recovering, and Cassie is pushing me down this long hallway in my wheelchair, and bless that woman, because she had to walk in these enormous high heels, and I'm like fairly heavy as well, and she kept wheeling this wheelchair into doors, into walls. My poor leg that was strapped up was getting smacked, and we just I'm still baffled to this day that they have any footage of us not laughing for us like coming into shot and hitting our mark, because that was just, after a week of crying and that kind of tone, it was just like this cathartic release of like, yeah, giddiness and delirium.
It seems like we might need a blooper reel to come out.
It's funny. I've been, I know we laughed a ton, so like I've never seen a blooper reel, but I'd be really curious to find out if there is one, or at least some like behind the scenes stuff, because yeah, we had a lot of that.
A lot of fun. Now you mentioned deleted scenes, and I know you guys released one of them. Do you think any more are coming out? Even those emotional scenes you were talking about?
Yeah, it's. I mean, I haven't heard anything about it. I would love that to be more scenes because it's so gratifying to be able to see, you know, things that you put so much effort and emotion to, and you know, Liz is in a difficult position because we essentially we had like I want to say like a 3-4 hour movie really in terms of like the footage that we had, but you've got to, you know, you've got to find a way to cut it down, and you've got to include everything that is necessary in the story, and there are always casualties in that, you know, other characters getting their stuff cut down as well. So you know, this is why people have extended cuts, because it's an extremely difficult job for a director to have to, you know, decide to cut things. I mean, it's their baby more than anyone. You know, I feel extremely emotionally attached to this movie. It was a very emotional time in my life when I was filming it as well. But you know, Sophia had been working on it for, you know, a few years. Same with Liz. Les, our producer, had really, I think, had it for something like 10 years. Wow. So for them, I mean, it's even bigger of a sacrifice to make. But I don't know. Look, I think if there's enough fan push, then people are always we're always willing to maybe to release something. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think there will be that push for sure. Something tells me that push is coming. God, there was so much footage you said that didn't make the cut. It seems like there might be more of a story to tell. Would you really be down to do another one? And if you could dream up a storyline that would be interesting to you, what would that be?
God, I mean, look, first and foremost, I love this group of people. Like, we really, like, top to bottom, the whole cast and crew, you know, we came in every day and we were just so pleased to be at work with each other. And it was hard. We filmed in crazy heats. Sometimes it felt very much like a labor of love. And I would jump at the opportunity to work with them in whatever capacity. I mean, Sophia and I have always joked about doing a kind of Mr. and Mrs. Smith like offshoot, which I think would be a lot of fun. Whether it's, I mean, not specifically that story, but something of that like. I mean, honestly, I'd love to hear what fans would kind of theorize for a Purple Hearts 2, because I think the one thing that's important is that you don't want to destroy the legacy that the first film has created. It has to make sense. We want to do something that is compelling and original, and you know, and is fan service as well at the same time. So it would be hard for me to just, you know, theorize something right now. But as I said to begin, you know, I love this group of people, and I would be more than happy to work with them again.
Yeah, well, I think everybody would gladly welcome that, for sure. Yeah. Let me get to a few of these fan questions. So
oh yeah, cool.
Were the most popular questions in my DMs when I announced you as my guest. The first one, well, we handled the deleted scene. Will there be more? I already asked that one. I like this question. This is about your music. You dropped your single Comfort 2 months ago. People love it. Is more coming? Can we get more music? And you and Sophia talked about collaborating.
I've seen a few comments about Sophia and I. Listen, Sophia she's been doing this for a while. She's a pro. I'm very much a baby to the sort of industry of music, and whenever I can pick her brain for advice, it's you know, I'm more than happy to sponge it up. I kind of maintain with the music, like I just said, you know, I'm so new to it and I'm learning, and I don't want to be one of these actors who are like, hey, I'm a musician, and you know, they haven't really done any of the like hard labor of you know, just like learning what it is to be a great songwriter and artist, and there's definitely more coming because it is a part of me that accesses a completely different part of my creative person that acting does. You know, it's a very interesting thing playing other people for a living, but music is very much sort of based in the core of who you are and your own experiences. So there's something very pure and accessible about that I really like. But you know, it's very exciting. I'm very lucky that some incredible people, idols of mine, have reached out who want to work with me, and there's some things that are being cooked up. And so that is all I can say for now, because I'm bad with secrets.
Does that have anything to do with the tease you've been leaving everybody with on social media?
This does not have to do with the tease.
Okay.
The tease is something, what I would say, it's something acting related that I am here in New York for, that I'm just so excited to tell anyone this. I've been given the sort of the gag order, which to be fair, what I will say is I bumped into two lovely young women last night who were asking me what I was doing next, and I have told these two strangers this next secret that I will be doing. So there are two strangers in the world who know what it is, but no, that news should be out next week. I'm incredibly excited. It's a huge step, and yeah, it's just I'm just very lucky right now, and yeah, that's all I have to say on that.
Well, lucky, but you put in the work, man. I mean, it's you work hard for it. So
look, I think you know, this job, apart from anything, you know, talent or whatever, it's just luck, and it is years and years of perseverance. And like I said at the top of this conversation, you know, and I'm sure you would know this in your line of work too. It's just like so much rejection, and you're kind of basically walking through a storm in order to kind of get to the sort of the rainbow at the end of it. And if you can weather it for long enough, then oftentimes it yields incredible opportunities. So I've been there. I've been an actor working as a caterer in a frozen yogurt place. I was a manny. I've done all the jobs. So
yeah, I'm with you. I've done about everything imaginable. So I got you.
We've all been there.
You know, before we wrap up, I'd like to kind of end on this topic of, you know, mental health and well-being. And actually, a lot of your fans did write in. One of the questions I received the most of was, how do you take care of your well-being, especially when you have a hit movie that thrusts you into the spotlight in this huge way, and millions of followers start coming, and you're kind of now always expected to be on? How do you take time for you?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm very lucky that this is happening to me now and not when I was 15 years old or whatever. I have an incredible family, an incredible group of friends who will always keep me grounded. There is a sense of knowing why I'm in this. I want to tell stories that have resonance with people. And I think it's just, you know, I try not to have this this binary of you know, like I'm on when I'm doing my job and I'm off when I'm doing it. I try and live my life with the same amount of candor that I'd kind of have for both. And I think all of that is, again, like the circle you keep. But it's overwhelming in an extremely positive way. It makes me emotional sometimes thinking about it, because like I said, you know, there have been so many near misses and opportunities that I thought were going to sort of, people were going to understand me and get to know me as an artist, which didn't work out. And it's a real gift. So I'm appreciative more than anything. And you know, like you're totally right. Self-care is important, and tuning out from all of it. But you know, I'm in the business of storytelling and having resonance and creating resonance with people. And the fact that this movie has had such an effect on all these people is just it's one of the most gratifying feelings ever, really. So I'm grateful.
Yeah, no, it's something that means a lot to many people, and I am sure being in your position, it's cool to see that. And lastly, because you have so many people who just look up to you and admire you, a lot of new friends and followers here who found you through this movie, what is something that you learned along the way up to this point, a piece of advice, a life lesson that maybe you wish you learned a little earlier in life, that could be as simple as it is, or something, you know, a little more detailed, but whatever it is, what's just something you think of and you say, man, I wish younger Nicholas knew that. That was
well, God, I mean, there's a lot of things. I think something that I read in a book which really resonates with me is, you know, life, it is impossible for us to not feel fear and to not experience pain. And this whole notion of being happy, being content, I think it's much more to do with choosing the thing that is painful and not being afraid of it and trusting that it will help you grow. Every single difficult, painful experience I've ever had in my life, I mean, including the making of this movie, you know, it was like huge. It was during a pandemic, and my grandmother, my yaya, as we say in Greece, who I was very, very close with, had just passed away. And this idea of going to the other side of the world to film this movie was really, really difficult. And I was so afraid, if I'm honest. But doing it was one of these incredible experiences of growth, and trusting that the pain would be useful. The pain would be useful one day was something I try and live my life. Something I try and live my life by now. Just putting one foot in front of the other, and to trust that you're going to be okay. And again, it just makes the success of this movie that much more gratifying. That to know there were things that I endured, and I was supported by this amazing cast and crew. In that respect, the fact that people are loving this movie just makes it all just so much better. So,
well,
yeah.
That's a beautiful piece of advice that we all should be remembering. And on that note, to everybody watching, everybody who's stood by your side and is cheering you on and supporting the film, what do you want to say?
I mean, come along for the ride. I mean, I feel like this has just been, it's been an incredible year. I'm so excited. I've got 2 movies in the can that are so very different to Purple Hearts, but I feel equally passionate about. There's so much coming up, and I'm just grateful. I've just loved meeting all of you on the streets of New York while I've been here. It's been so great to have a chat and to learn about you as well. And I just hope that they'll continue this journey with me.
I think they're with you. They're with you through it all. And by the way, I am very personally excited for Red, White, and Royal Blue. I love them. My husband and I never could have dreamed that movies like that could get made. So it's awesome. Certainly not when I was a kid. I'm 36. I didn't have that. So yeah. I think it's an amazing thing. We can't wait for it.
That's, I mean, why I'm blonde, obviously. We just got finished filming that.